Hi, Cancer. Welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your May 2022 love reading. Thanks to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, that's what I call the Bridge in the Gap spread. And the way it works is a look at the past energies, present energies, and future energies between you and your main love interest. Once we get through all that, we'll actually pull some oracle cards for some additional insight. That's where the Bridge in the Gap dynamic comes into play. As far as the decks being used, we have the Lover's Path Tarot on the left, and on the right, we have the Tarot of the New Vision. And also keep in mind, it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as the energy and the cards on the right as the other person's energy. If you feel like it's the other way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. All right, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. Past energy on your side, we have Transformation, which is the equivalent of the Death card, which is Scorpio energy, and we have 10 of Arrows, which is Gemini energy. So could just be saying that between the two of you might have had a bit of an on-again, off-again dynamic, and in the past you might have actually broken away from the connection. For others, you could just be saying that that was possibly a separate situation that you were going through. But yeah, it definitely looks like in some dynamic you might have left a connection behind in the past. All right, past energy on their side, we have the King of Swords. So this is Aquarius energy here, and this could just be saying that the reason why you might have left the connection behind, if it was directly related to this person, is you might have felt like it was really difficult for them to be vulnerable and open with you, right? So if you wanted to have discussions around certain things, you might have felt like they didn't really communicate very well around those things. What stands out to me is we see that baby and in the background behind that throne there with the sword, which to me could just be saying that, from an early age, it might have just been raised in an environment where feelings weren't necessarily openly expressed, right? So everyone just kept a straight face and never really expressed their deeper emotions and feelings in situations. All right, in the present position on your side, we have Awakening. So this is the equivalent of the Sun card, definitely a very positive energy there, and this could just be saying that for some of you might actually start to feel those feelings come back around for this person, especially, like I said, if it is an on-again, off-again dynamic that you tend to have with this person. That's what I'm seeing with that. All right, the present energy on their side, we have the Knave of Wands. So this is the equivalent of the Page of Wands. So especially if we look at the body language too, how he's looking directly at the cards on the left side, it could just be saying that now they are feeling a bit more open, more vulnerable, right? The Page or Knave, as they're called in this deck, is definitely more vulnerable than like a King energy, for example. So this could just be saying that they are making an effort to be more open and expressive towards you, express their passionate feelings in that regard. All right, future energy on your side, we have Triumph. So this is the equivalent of the World card. So I do have to say, for some of you, it could even just be that maybe there was physical distance between the two of you as well. And that could have been part of the reason why there was an on-again, off-again dynamic. So super generic example, let's say if someone is still in college, right, and you go away for a semester and you come back around, could be as simple as that, right? That could be where the separations come from. But if not that, could just be saying that you might feel like you're finally getting that forward progress with the connection, right? Where, like I said, maybe if this person, it was really difficult for them to open up around their feelings in the past, that might have caused you to walk away. And in the process, things could just be improving to where you do feel like you can trust them. They're a bit more open and vulnerable with you, or at least will be in the future. All right, future energy on their side, we have the Queen of Pentacles, Capricorn energy, and the Nine of Swords, Gemini energy. So yeah, seeing these two cards here, the Queen of Pentacles is definitely an energy of stability, and that's Capricorn energy, which is your opposite sign too. So to me, this says that they will actually make the effort to actually build a relationship with you, but at the same time, I just feel like it still gives them a lot of anxiety. Like I said, it could have just been possibly they weren't necessarily raised in a environment where love relationships were openly expressed, right? So it could just be one of those things where it's just a little bit harder for them to open up. So I feel like it's not necessarily a lack of want on their part, just more of maybe they move slower than you do as far as it comes to being open and vulnerable with expressions of feelings. All right, bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Six of Arrows. So usually this is energy that represents peace being restored, moving to calmer waters. And in this deck, she does tend to move toward the cards on the side as well, which is a positive thing. So yeah, could just be saying that that's where you're at, right? So especially for you guys, Aquarius energy is your eighth house, which could point to intimacy, and that doesn't necessarily have to just mean sexual, right? It could just mean openness, vulnerability. So you might finally feel like you're getting there with this person. And the bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Two of Wands. So yeah, this could be one element that says that for some of you, it might have just been that they really did have to move away for a situation. So there could have just been the physical distance between the two of you, as we see he's holding that globe there, and we see the world in the background of that card as well. So it could have been as simple as that. Maybe there's physical distance between the two of you, and you might have felt like they weren't keeping the lines of communication as open, right? So maybe you might have felt like you were always the one initiating conversations, things along those lines. But either way, it looks like that's getting ironed out. And we do see, interestingly enough, beneath that, we have the Ace of Chalices too, which is the Ace of Cups. So yeah, at the very least, it looks like they will be more open as far as emotions go and expressing those feelings. So that looks like a positive there. Like I said, it just seems like they might move slower than you do. All right, so moving on to the Oracle cards. First, we'll see what we get from the Moonlight deck. I did pre-shuffle this deck before we started recording. What I'm going to be looking for is unspoken messages from you to them, and then unspoken messages from them to you. Initially, I'm going to look for jumpers, but if I shuffle for a while without any cards coming up, I'll just put the deck down and pull a card that way. So we'll see what we get. All right, and this one doesn't want to go back in the deck. And next, we'll see what we get from them to you. All right, and that doesn't want to go back in the deck. So let's see what we got on your side first. Okay, we have sadness. There we go. It says, I feel like I've lost you and I'm not coping well with it. So yeah, interesting energy there because, like I said, it seems like, at least for most of you, if there was a separation, you might have been the one who physically committed the act of moving away from the connection, right? Even if you feel like emotionally they tapped out first. But yeah, it could just be one of those things where you're feeling that disconnect. Like I said, in the present, it looks like those feelings will be reawakened on both sides. So if that's the case, you'll probably be coming out of this energy soon, but I could see where that might have fit in the past. And on their side, we have Ghost. Okay, it says, I won't stay for very long. I'm sorry. So yeah, interesting energy there because I see that that's definitely something that's a possibility for them. As far as what I mentioned, like I said, it just seems like they weren't necessarily exposed to a lot of open love energy when they were younger, possibly. So that could be why they might come across as cold for toward you guys sometimes. And then with that Two of Wands energy, that could even point to maybe that is what they've done in the past, right? So for some of you, it might have been them who's moved away. But if that's the case, like I said, it looks like there's honest effort on their part with the Knave of Wands, right, facing right toward the cards on the side, putting in that effort. And like I said, too, the Queen of Pentacles holding on to that energy of the commitment, but just having a lot of anxiety around that. So I don't necessarily feel like this is indicative of something that they would do in the future, just more of that might have been their energy in general, right? And this could just be an indicator for you guys that you might have to just be a little bit patient with them as far as that goes. But we'll see what the Wisdom of the Oracle deck adds to the mix. So same situation as far as I pre-shuffle this deck as well, but here we're just looking for one card with general advice, and then we'll wrap up. All right, and this does want to go back in the deck, so let's see what we got. Okay, we have New Life. There's the artwork, and the number is 39. So let's see what this says. Okay, it says birth of new ideas, growth, opportunities, a breath of fresh air, life renewing itself. The Oracle's message: when spring awakens the world, joy and excitement can be felt all around and in your very core. Blossoms burst from trees overnight, birds return home and sing their glorious song, and nature is full of promise. Miracles beckon all of us. This is one of those times in your life when new ideas inspire you and new opportunities bring you hope for seeing your dreams come true. All is well in your world, and you have the energy you need to feel renewed. Allow your heart to fill with enthusiasm. Let your light shine, for this is a time of good fortune. So interesting to see that message come up in particular, because we have that transformation energy, which is actually the story of Pluto and Persephone, and that tends to be that on again, off again thing where we could see the life return in the spring. So interesting dynamic the way those two lined up. The relationship message says new energy enters old relationships, and new relationships are bursting with the sweetness and vibrancy only encountered when winter gives way to spring. This is a time to connect with others and share excitement, passion, and hearts full of joy. This card is a very auspicious sign with respect to love and partnerships in all forms. So yeah, definitely a pretty positive message there, and then that seems to line with what we were saying here too, where in the present it looks like there is a reigniting of feelings, and then like I said, in the future looks like you guys will be moving forward. Like I said, it might still require a little bit of patience with this person, but it does look like they are going to put forth a genuine effort. All right, so hopefully that resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.